we have a jam-packed edition of QnCOLB. Now, if you're noticing, this is a little bit different. This is a little bit longer. It's because we're trying to do things a little bit differently. As you know, I have a busy upload schedule. QnCOLB has a busy life. You know, we trying to get this out to you in the most efficient way possible. And I feel like dropping it as a podcast and then dropping the clips afterwards. So, you know, some of y'all wanted longer videos for my truck driving homies and my landscaper homies. You know, this is for you right here. Get that whole, we gonna get a quarter of your shift out the way. You know what I mean? Like, we about to be rocking with you at least till lunch, more than likely. And then for the other people who like it in bits and chunks, you know, my corporate homies, you know, y'all gotta get the lunch break in, 15-minute here, 15-minute there, a little slack break, you know, I'm online, but I'm offline. You know, you gotta hit the video. I get you. We dropping the clips too. Best of both worlds. This is how we do it, QnCOLB. I hope this way is better for everybody. And one day, once we get our act together and we not messy no more, we might be able to do this live, but we still need to edit some of this stuff because
hey, we never gonna be able to do this show live, dog. We honestly should. It would be way more entertaining, but we need a producer. Bad. We need a producer.
we ain't got no umpire. You know what I mean?
We need our Mike Greenberg so bad.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Look, this show will be 8 hours. Okay.
A lot of cussing.
A lot of cursing. And a lot of takes we want back. You know what I mean? But this is what we're going to do. God, jam-packed show. We're going to be talking about Myles Garrett. We're going to be talking about football and basketball comps, one of our favorite things to do. We're talking about Deshaun Watson, Kevin Stefanski, the Steelers still not dying, them cockroaches. The Lions, well, QnCOLB, you know.
Oh, yeah. My time came.
It's time for me to get my money back on that one.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
This week.
We talking about the AFC North and the most overrated teams in the NFL. Q and Post. Hit the intro. So the first thing, QnCOLB, we have to talk about is Myles Garrett and how incredible he is. Now, look, I'm not going to jump into this whole debate about who's better, Myles or TJ. I just think that it distracts from the point. And the point is that Myles Garrett is ungodly good at football. Like, it is just... It's incredible. The stuff that he just gets away with doing. This clip of him leaping over the offensive line, like, QnCOLB, I'm going to explain on how many levels this is impressive. One, this is stuff that Troy Polamalu used to do. We used to be like, oh my God, Troy, how do you do this? One, you can't run up to the line of scrimmage anymore. So you can't have a running start like Troy did back in the day. And two, you can't jump off the booty of your defensive back or your defensive tackle to get over that center. You can't do it. It's a penalty now. So what Myles Garrett had to do is jump over the guard, land on one foot, and then jump off of one foot after just jumping. And like I don't know if y'all know how tough that is, but jumping after jumping is crazy. Okay. Like jumping high after just springing up in the air. He jumps off one foot and then smacks that ball. QnCOLB, that mother was waiting for the dude to kick the ball. Like he might have been early. Like Matt Gay is planting his foot, looking up and being like, yo, that's Myles. Like, imagine, what would you do if you were the kicker? You lining up to kick the ball in the NFL, mind you. Like, this ain't high school. In the NFL, 60-yard field goal. You know, you're doing your little shoulder shimmy before you line up. You're getting your hips square. You're pointing to the upright. And you're like, all right, it's a long one. I got to gear into it. And then you plant that foot. You get that leg back. You look to kick, and then you look up the aim, and you're like, I can't see shit. That's Myles Garrett. Is that Myles Garrett in front of me? Like, I guess I'm gonna just kick it into him. Like, what am I gonna do? Run away and leave it on the tee? Like he might as well have done that.
I was just about to say, I'd have been like, "Hey man, at that point, it's pure self-preservation mode." Because you gotta think about it, dog. You're the kicker. if there's anybody who is not qualified or prepared to take a hit from Myles Garrett, it is me.
Let me tell you what that holder was not about to do. Pick that ball up. Hey, think about it like that. The holder knew he was there and still held that fucking ball right there. Like, that's crazy. Because the holder got to be like this the whole time. And he just sees it. He goes, "Heart." Sees Myles Garrett jump over the line. It's like, nope.
Dog, I was terrified, bro. I know it was terrifying because it was like, bro, we not supposed to be within like 20 feet of Myles at any point.
How'd he get here? Denzel Ward, by the way, Denzel Ward, one of the quickest dudes in all of football. You saw that interception where he just levitated to a ball. That's how athletic and freaky Denzel Ward is to other NFL players. Denzel Ward got there and saw Myles to the right of him. Like, how did you get here? Man, nobody could explain it. I was like, what? I remember watching, I was like, did he just walk through the defense? Like, did he just walk through? They just let him through? What happened? Like, that was one of the most, look, Pat McAfee tweeted out after that. Yeah, watching Myles Garrett live is incredible. Might be the best human ever constructed. Like,
hey, constructed is crazy.
God made one of those, Cole. One. That is one of those. Okay.
Hey, no. Have you ever heard other NFL players talk about Myles?
They are in awe. It's, you know what it's like? It's like when you hear basketball players talk about Wemby. And they're like, got this 7-7 and he just did a step back Kobe fadeaway. I can't believe it. That's nuts. That's nuts. That's insane.
No,
that's how they talk about Myles. It's like, yo, he's 6'4" and he just jumped over with no running start. He box jumped it. And then, like, if you've ever box jumped, you will understand. Like, that is not something that you could do two of in a row. He did two of. He did, back up. What? He was trying to catch the kick, Cole. Like, part of him is mad at himself because he didn't catch that shit. Like,
listen, man, freaking it. Best defensive player in the world. It's not close to me. It's just not. It's not. It's literally not a debate to me anymore. Like, you watch it. If you watch him,
it's insane.
Sunday, just some of the shit he does, you're just like, nobody else can do that. No one can do it. And I'm not saying like other edge rushers aren't great. Like, it's really not a debate with TJ. Like, TJ's great.
Look, TJ is great. And you could argue whether his baseline is more consistent than Myles Garrett's baseline, right? And that we could live in that argument all day long. What we cannot argue is that a great game for Myles means 20 points for the Cleveland Browns. Great game for TJ means 10. Like, that is the difference. Like, and 10 is hard to do. Like, it's hard to do. But that like, when I talk about these walls that teams build up against Myles, like, it's ridiculous. And, like, Cope, he blocked that kick. Like, that shit was incredible. He blocked that kick with ease. And, like, he wasn't even in. You know what's like, here's the underrated part of that whole play. Because maybe somebody else has the athletic ability to do that. It's not that, right? You watch Winning Time. You know the whole speech about how long it took somebody to run a 4-minute mile or whatever it was. And that the first time somebody did, then a bunch of people did it, right? Because it's about the mental barrier, not necessarily the act itself. It's like one-handed catches with Odell. After Odell does it, a bunch of people start doing it because now everybody got the confidence that they can do it because they've seen it happen. The outright absurd confidence to stand there at 6'5", damn near 300 pounds, and go, I can jump over him, and then I could jump up again and block that kick. I could do that, and then do it is absurd. Like, who sits there and thinks that? Like, nobody sits there and is like, yeah, I could clear that easy. Again, the rule is you can't touch the center.
Nope.
So he had to be confident he could clear the center with ease, not even hurdling, because you can't hurdle. There's not enough space to hurdle on the defensive line, making legs wide so you can get up as high as possible. You have to like box clear this thing, which is so difficult. And he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And like, I would love to know if he did that shit on a whim. Like if he was just like, oh yeah, I got that one. Like, was it just like the center was extra short? Like, I don't know what it was, but like he just had the confidence to be like, and this is when we go into Myles. Myles has revolutionary confidence. Like he does stuff and then people start doing it afterwards. Myles decides, I'm a dribble before I pass rush. Now everybody like, I want to be like Myles, right? It's like Mike. It's like Mike but Myles. Like for edge rushers, that Mike, dog. Like I called this with Pat last year. I'm calling it right now. That's Mike for pass rushers, dog. Everybody, drop a shoe, drop a cleat, Myles, okay, with Adidas, and call it the Air Myles 1, and have it being you just jumping over the offensive line, because that is the most incredible that anybody has ever seen. And there are going to be, I promise you, you're going to see like 4 more edge rushers try that shit. Trying to be like Myles. Okay? Like, but the thing is, Myles the only one that's saying enough to be like, I could do this. Oh yeah, I could dunk for the free throw line and spread it out and bang on them boys. Like, that's Myles. Like, he has revolutionary athletic ability and confidence to which is going to change the position, because we're going to see people do that Myles did this year for the rest of our lives. We're going to see, it's like when Steph Curry started taking them deep ass threes. Okay. It is one of those things where it's like, people are going to try this forever because Myles did it. And TJ's dope. TJ's an elite player. TJ's a first ballot Hall of Fame. But he ain't got that kind of grip on the game. Like, that's different. Like nobody out here talking about nobody out here talking about I'll try to be like TJ. Like, you know, oh yeah, I want to go through somebody's chest. Like, nah, TJ wouldn't be an elite at regular edge rusher stuff. The shit Myles is doing is just like, yo, dog, we ain't never. How many times we've been like, it's been since 2000 since we've seen somebody do this and that. It's like every week when Myles is something new. And it's like, that's the level of play that this man is on. This is some like Mike shit. Like, I promise you, you're going to see people imitating the stuff that Myles is getting away with this season forever. Like, we already saw Aiden Hutchinson being out there trying to be like Myles. Like,
and they look the same, did it? They look the same. Aiden tried.
He might. Like, it's cool. Like, look. How many people that tried to hit that Jordan fadeaway on the baseline? A lot of people, right? DeMar DeRozan does it every time, and it's cool for DeMar DeRozan, but it ain't like Mike. It just make you want to watch Mike. Like, you know, like...
It make you want to pull up the highlight.
Yeah, like DeMar DeRozan makes you want to watch Kobe. Like, you know what I mean? Like... You watch DeMar DeRozan, you like, I miss Kobe, dog. Like... And every edge rusher, look, man, there will be some other freaky dude that out one day comes past Myles Garrett, but I'm pretty sure for the next 20 years, ain't gonna be no shit like Myles, dog. Like, that is a rare combination of creativity, confidence, and outright ungodly build. like this man we forget, Cole, last week he threw around Trent Williams. Like, time out. Nah, man, Myles used all the VC, dog. Like, I don't care. That is not real. How he be
ungodly build is great,
and that's what it is. He is 6'5". He's 6'5". You can't push him off his access because he is flexible. The man is made of Laffy Taffy, and he fast as fuck. Like, what are you doing with that? Oh, and he can jump high. Nah, man.
Hey, stop real quick. You said Myles got that laughing.
Now stop being goofy. See, this is why we can't go live. This is why we can't go live.
You say you got that laughing
He built he flexible. That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
see, y'all, Carrot and Mace. Carrot and Mace. I blame you. You are the Joe Budden of sports podcast.
Hey,
you have done this to us.
Don't blame them for that. Don't blame them for that. You know that was crazy.
No, I blame Mace. Okay. I'm blaming Mace. All I'm saying is that
you gonna blame the pastor?
It's unfair. I'm blaming Mace. Okay. I've heard about them churches. Like, look. All I'm saying is that Myles Garrett, generational don't do it because we be calling anybody generational. It's generational. Nah, man. God made one. Like, God made one 6'5" dude who can bend and run. Like, there is no. I don't ever want to hear anybody compared to Myles Garrett in draft again. Like, you know how insane it is that Pat Mahomes in the same draft as him, and he is the more athletic person by far. Like, Pat Mahomes is an athletic marvel, but he looks pedestrian compared to some of the stuff that you see Myles Garrett do. Like, Myles went number 1 in that draft. It still ain't been questioned. It ain't never gonna be questioned. You know how good you gotta be to have that happen? That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know what the comp is for him from outer sports, but it is something we ain't never seen before. The man has, and this ain't the first time Myles has taken over a game from the edge rush position. He did this shit like early in his career against Pittsburgh. He's done it before. He did it against the Titans, right? He did this in the last year in the opening game against Baker Mayfield, where he just decided no more. I'll go get 2 sacks right here and a strip sack. Right? Like, he just does this every once in a while. And it is always some of the most incredible stuff you've ever seen. And he's just, I don't even know if, like, he's going to get all the credit in the world. We're at the point where people are just like, yo, appreciate this. But it's nuts.
Yeah, to be honest with you, whenever you watch a football game, there's not very many times, unless we're talking about a quarterback, where you say he single-handedly won them the game. That's usually almost always reserved for Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes level carry jobs that from the quarterback position, where they get the ball, they go down the field, they score, you win the game, they made it happen, all that good stuff. Myles did that yesterday, where he was just like, you know what, we need to score, we're gonna need some points because I don't know what's going on the other side of the ball, so I'm gonna just help us get 20 extra points. We gonna win.
Let me tell you something, dog. Act like I wasn't thinking about putting Myles in on that 4th and 1. I know he ain't gonna let me down.
Go get it.
Go get it. Go get it, Myles. Go get it. 4th and goal. Win the game, Myles.
Hey, remember when JJ used to play tight end?
Mm-hmm.
When he used to play tight end? I think Myles could do it.
Myles could line up at fullback. You know, imagine that coming at you. You know, like.
You imagine TJ just being like, Myles?
Is that Myles? No, we ain't supposed to be getting that kind of punishment. All right. So we kind of leaned into it when we were talking about some football comps. One of our favorite things to do on this show is to slander 2 people at the same time. By comparing them to their NBA doppelgangers. So, as you guys know, we have had our fun with Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Clippers. No, I know. They the Clippers. Okay. And we have called Justin Herbert, and it's official. He Paul George. He football Paul George. But there are other quarterbacks in the league that deserve cops. Some favorable, some not. So, Cole, we're going to play a game of sports twits.
Oh, God.
We're going to start with Pat Mahomes, who's his NBA doppelganger.
Now, before we get started, I need to know the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have to use current players?
Yes.
We have to use current players.
Current players.
Okay. Gotta use current players. He gotta be Bron, right? Gotta be Bron. He's Bron.
To me, he's Giannis.
Nah, to me, he's Bron. Explain why you think he's Giannis, though. Explain why you think he's Giannis.
Because if we're talking about like Bron, like 2018 or 2020 before, where he's like arguably the best player in the league, I would be with you. But this ain't best player in the league, Bron. This is really good player in the league, Bron. And Pat Mahomes is at the peak of his powers. So I'm just going to throw him as whoever the best, most athletic, freaky, player that you got. And that's Giannis. And I would say he's Giannis.
Okay, so this is why I say he's Bron. Pat is Bron because, to me, their careers are kind of mirroring each other in a way. And this is what I mean when I say that. For so many years, people just believed that Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player we're ever going to see. We're always going to he's always going to be the greatest basketball player.
Okay, I feel it.
You see what I'm saying?
I see the vision.
Tom Brady, greatest quarterback we're ever going to see. There's never going to be another Tom Brady. It's as good as it's going to get. And then the next thing you know,
cold world.
This motherfucker comes out of nowhere, and you like, you know what? Him right there?
Cold world, man. Look, the second Mike got out the league, LeBron came in.
LeBron came in, and you was like, and you changed your entire thought process of what the greatest basketball player ever was. You changed your entire thought process.
By the way, big shout out to Kobe, because Kobe was like, I got 6 years. Okay. I got 6 years before this hit his stride. And I'm going to take full advantage. He was like, I got Jordan out. I'm in. I got 6. Let's get him. Let's get it. Get me. He was mad too. And they was playing around in those 6. Like, you got me out here with Smush. I'm scoring 81. Give me somebody. Man, I don't even need nobody. Give me Powell, man. Just give me somebody decent. He gave him Powell. He ran 2.
Shout out B. He got his 5. He was like, listen.
Look, Kobe knew what time it was.
It's my run right here. We gonna take advantage.
Kobe was like, look, man, by 2014, he knew what time it was. He was like, I had 2004 till I had 04 till about 2012. And I wrapped that thing up. And you can't say I didn't have my era, but he saw it coming. He looked over there like, I hope Cleveland don't get him nobody. Like, nobody was rooting harder against Danny Ferry than Kobe Bryant. Okay, like, he was not trying to see them be a competent team around LeBron, because he was like, the sooner that hits. And then he had that series against the Detroit Pistons. He was like, oh, okay, yeah, boy. As soon as they stop messing around and giving them Drew Gooden, dog, it's gonna be crazy. Like, it's gonna go crazy. All right, Josh Allen. I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
James Harden. You don't go James Harden? Every year we hyping up their team, talking about this gonna be the year. Oh yeah, they got CP3 and James, aka Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen. And then every year in the playoffs, something happens. Now, it's not in the first round. It always be like second, third round. Something happen. Oh yeah, we can't wait for how many times we like, we gonna get James versus the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals. Who don't make it, James? Like, I'm just saying.
No. I got it.
Who you got?
Luka.
You got Luka. I got Luka for somebody else.
Josh Allen is Luka. Because everybody crowned Josh. Basically said, like, yeah, he's next. He's gonna be the best of the league. He's gonna be this. He's gonna be that. And it just feels, and you know, he has moments. He's had games. He's had moments where you felt like it was warranted.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of every postseason, you feel like it's just a little premature. So that's why I think he's Luka.
He constantly puts you in the position of having to sound like a hater because people want to give him way too much. When you're like, yo, he's dope. He's really good. But we ain't got to go all the way. We could wait. You know, he's not on Pat Mahomes level. Like, you know,
Yeah, that's
because you hear people say this stuff with Luka all the time where he's like, he's basically the next LeBron. I'm like, come on, dog. Like, be for real. Like,
and that's exactly how you end up feeling about Josh Allen. That's why I say he's Luka. He's Luka Doncic.
Dak Prescott.
Oh wait, let me think of an NBA player I don't like. Hold on.
You can't give him call times, man.
Let me think of an NBA player I don't like because that's what I'm going with. Man,
is he Chris Paul?
No, because I don't think.
No, Chris Paul too good.
No, you know who I think Chris Paul is? Oh, I know who Chris Paul is. Russell Wilson.
You think that's disrespectful to Chris Paul?
Is it?
I would go Russell Westbrook, but no, Russ on the list. We'll have this conversation.
Yeah, we'll circle back to that.
So we all Dak right now. Who's Dak's doppelganger? Good team, puts up decent numbers, never really a threat in the playoffs.
Oh, never really a threat in the playoffs. That helps a little bit.
Is he Dame? We got more respect for Dame than we do that.
No, we got more respect for that. We got more respect for Dame than that, I think. We got more respect for Dame than that.
Is he Donovan Mitchell?
No.
I think he's Donovan Mitchell.
Oh, I feel like that's disrespectful.
Early postseason success had you fooled a little bit, but then now we starting to see what it is.
Oh, that's how you feel about D Mitch?
I don't think he's the best player on the championship team. In the same way I don't feel about Dak being the best. Like, you can get to the second round with D Mitch. Maybe if you're lucky, you get to the Eastern Conference Finals. But if you get to the finals, you're getting swept or 5. Like, nobody think you actually winning. Like, that's just what it is. As your best player. Yes, he Donovan Mitchell. That's his doppelganger.
Man, Dak's a hard cop for me. Because I don't know if there's an NBA player where the situation fits as much. Because he's the starting quarterback on a good team. But you just know, like,
but Donovan's never been on a bad team. He's always been on a playoff contender. Been on the 1 seed in the West. And what happened? Some cowboy shit.
That's true.
It's Donovan. Good team in Cleveland. Get beat by a scrappy team by the New York Knicks. Act like that's not something that would happen to the Cowboys. Get beat by the Lions in the first round. Like,
damn, you might be right.
Yeah, he Donovan Mitchell. A star for sure, a star. Donovan but Mitchell. You know, he Donovan Mitchell. Jalen Hurts. Let's be careful.
we got to be careful every time we talk about Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, we got to be. Former Oklahoma people, man. We got to be careful every time we talk about it. Something happened. So Donovan, we all Jalen Hurts, and you know what?
Quick,
I'm a couple to.
Real quick, do they even have the right to claim him for real? Because Jalen Hurts is a Bama QB to me. He's a Bama QB to me.
I would say he did most of his accomplishments up there, but also, you know, it's one of the weird things where Anquan Bolden retired a Raven. Like, you know, it is what it is. But I'm just going to comp him to another Oklahoma person. He Trae Young. I'm going to leave it at that. Do what you want at that. I'm going to just say,
no,
Jalen Hurts,
Trae Young. You can't leave that. You can't leave that. You can't leave that. You can't leave that.
No, it's hard to comp him because, like, I know that people love Jalen Hurts that are on teams with him. I also know that people don't like Trae Young who are on teams with him.
That's why I don't think it works.
That's the thing. That's why it don't feel like it works. But player-wise, it's like really good player, still needs a really good team around him.
All right, let me think about this. Because to me,
one of these names is gonna be hard to do.
Yeah, one of these names is gonna be hard to do. But he had a really, 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 really good season last year.
Yeah,
second MVP voting.
Hey man, Trae Young went to the Eastern Conference Finals.
You know what I'm saying? This year he hasn't been as good.
Trae Young after he went to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Is Jalen? Nah, I don't want to give him the AD count. I don't want to give him the AD count.
Anthony Davis is, I don't know.
Nah. It doesn't match up. I can't give him the AD count. I can't give him the AD count.
Yeah, because he ain't been hurt. That's the only thing with AD. AD, when he healthy, he's straight.
And I'm going to say that AD has, even with all the injuries, he still had like multiple seasons where you were like, okay, yeah, no, he's what it's supposed to look like.
Like, you know what it is. It don't feel the same, right? Like, because Jalen Hurts, you're still trying to figure it out. This is a tough one. That's why I go Trae Young. Like, you still trying to figure out Trae Young.
Yeah, who in the NBA? I'm just like, who in the NBA am I still trying to figure out? Still trying to figure out if it's real or not.
Well, no, Anthony Edwards don't win enough.
I think we know Anthony Edwards is the truth too. I think it's kind of like, yeah, we know he's the truth. We know.
Keep it real, like, all-star. Keep it a real all-star. That is my guy.
I'm trying to think.
Who are some young stars in the NBA?
That's what I got in my head. Like, that's what I got in my head trying to think. Is he Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, my fault. At OKC.
They just haven't won enough for me to put him there.
But you know, he had a 30 point. He
had a breakout season.
Year. I think he was all NBA first team last year. You know what I'm saying? And we trying to figure out.
And he's a late round, like basically the football equivalent of a second round pick, because he wasn't like an early first, right? He was like a 20th.
Yeah, I think he was just outside the lottery. I think he was just outside the lottery.
That's basically a second round pick. Okay, we'll give him Shai.
Yeah, let's give him Shai. I think it's Shai. I actually think it's Shai.
We gotta see. We gotta interview. We need a producer, and we need to watch an interview of his mama talk about him so we can know what his name is. Okay.
But Jalen Hurts, SGA. That's what we got.
All right, we got that. See, now Trevor Lawrence. Now you already used up Luka. Trevor Lawrence. Man, I got like 8 different comps popping in my head for one player on this list, and it's gonna be a crazy conversation.
You'll say that one for last. Say that one for last. That's what the people come for. Say that one for last. All
right. So Trevor Lawrence. It's tough. Who's young? Again, it's like similar to the Jalen Hurts situation. Maybe we could say that he's Trae Young.
Nah, Trae Young is a hard comparison for me because it has to be somebody people don't like to play with.
Who are the best young players on good teams right now? Because the Sacramento Kings don't have anybody. The Warriors are super old. Like,
I think I got one. I try to get the point guard and quarterback comparison. I try to match them up when I can. You know what I'm saying?
Who you got?
Trevor Lawrence is Josh Giddey.
What?
Trevor Lawrence.
I'm not with you on this.
Trevor Lawrence and Josh Giddey.
You telling me the Oklahoma City Thunder have Trevor Lawrence?
Trevor Lawrence and Josh Giddey.
They got Jalen Hurts? No.
Man, I'm rolling with it.
No, I can't. I can't go with it. I can't go with that. Nah. I'm going to have to give him Zion.
What you trying to say?
Hold on. No, I'm not trying to say nothing. But from a standpoint of expectations pre-draft, right? Both one of the most heralded prospects of their time. Came in and it's kind of been up and down. You know what I mean? Like, hey, there's moments where you're like, oh my God, Trevor Lawrence, that we said was going to be the best since Andrew Luck. And then there are moments where you like, yo, Urban Meyer killed him. Like, now from a health standpoint, it's not been the same thing, which is why I had Zion as eligible for something else. But I think that's a fair comp. The hype, the expectations, and like the mixed delivery on those expectations.
I'm not
despite being on decent teams.
I'm not gonna lie. That's a good one. Yeah. Yeah, I was tripping with the Giddy one. All
right, as long as we can all admit it. Joe Burrow.
Wow.
I was gonna let that one fly, dog. Joe Burrow.
Ooh.
Now, this is who I have as Luka.
That's who you had as Luka?
Yeah, same kind of like the same kind of feeling around him where it's like Luka can do no wrong. And man, even when you talk shit about Luka gonna pull some shit out his ass and make you look goofy. But you also like, he ain't that good. He's just really, really good. But then Luka keep doing stuff that validate the crazy things that people say about him, but it's not really validate. It's like, that's what happens with Joe Burrow. Like right now, he 3-3. They're going to be in the playoffs. They're going to get a home playoff game. I'm pretty sure. Like,
I'm about to say I can't say because we haven't given anybody a Jokic comp yet. We haven't given.
There's no Jokic.
I can't think. I don't think Joe's Jokic. I don't think
there's no Jokic. No, Joe like his job. Joe clearly likes it in the States. Okay, like Joe be flexing. Like Jokic don't. Nah, it's just Jokic is like Nick Chubb or something like that.
Hey, is there a superstar in the NBA that has a supporting cast around him?
Steph Curry.
That's so great. Nah, but you know Steph.
Well, I'm saying like if Steph's still in the league, we could go back a little bit and be like, this is how the same way we felt about Steph in 2016.
Or is it him or is it the team?
Yeah. I would say post pandemic Steph is how we feel about Joe Burrow. I think that's another good way you can go with it.
Is Joe Devin Booker?
Yeah, but I think we think Joe is so much better than Devin Booker though. Like that's why I'm going Steph, because Steph was getting MVPs and like in that conversation for best player in the league in 2016, but people were still like, but look at his supporting cast, and then they added KD,
which didn't help.
Yeah, which didn't help.
But
then he made Jordan Love Jordan, whatever his name is, look like a player. And then all of a sudden now we just go shut up about Steph. We've been thoroughly proven wrong about this. And that's kind of, I would go early Steph or Luka. Like, I think, because there's an element of like consistently proving us wrong, despite the fact that like we know that he's not that good, but it's like, I don't know, keep doing shit. Like, and that's what it be with Joe Burrow. Like, we be saying all this about how he got these pieces around him, but he always get to the AFC Championship with the Bengals. It's crazy.
Hey, man, you know what I haven't thought about? Who's Jimmy Butler?
Do we have one? Jimmy Butler? In the NFL, who is Jimmy Butler at quarterback? We gotta come back to that. We gotta
think about that.
All right, who's Baker Mayfield in the NBA?
Trae Young.
Trae Young's had far too much success.
I know.
His team still thinks he's good.
Do they like playing?
You know what? He's not Trae Young. He's Buddy Hield. The previous Trae Young.
Walk me through that one.
All right, so people thought Buddy Hield was going to be like pretty much what Trae Young was coming out of Oklahoma. Very productive player in college. Comes to the NBA, gets a chance, kind of lost in the shuffle a little bit. Ends up being a fine role player. Somebody who can't be your main thing, but he could be fun on occasion. And that's what Baker Mayfield is. He is fun on occasion. Like every once in a while, you gonna get a Baker Mayfield game where that just start throwing shit to Mike Evans. And it's gonna be fun to watch. And you're like, oh, this man is crazy. You also go get 4 interceptions and a half. Like you could get either or. And with Buddy Hield, it's like, hey man, you gonna get one of those crazy 3 games where he on like the Pacers just balling. You're like, damn, Buddy Hield's a really good player. And then every once in a while, you get a 0 for 5 Buddy Hield game.
Nah.
Who
I
you
know
got?
who he is. I know who he is.
It's about to be disrespectful.
Baker Mayfield is James Wiseman.
That's crazy.
He's James Wiseman. He's James Wiseman, man. He's James Wiseman.
James Wiseman.
Let me walk you through it.
Just nuts.
He's James Wiseman. I'm telling you, Baker, number 1 overall pick in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
James Wiseman, many people forget, number 2 overall pick in the NBA draft.
Should have been. The people were talking about him being the number 1 overall pick if he had a better year at Memphis.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Wore out their welcome with the team that took them that high extremely quickly. Didn't live up to expectations.
So in this cop, is Kaminga Denzel Ward or Nick Chubb?
Unclear.
It is unclear at the moment.
I didn't think that I'd get that far ahead. But wore out their welcome. Trying to rebound with another franchise. In Baker Mayfield's case, multiple franchises. Some people still believe. Most people know what the deal is by now.
Now, that's the key element with Baker Mayfield in account for him, is this element of people still thinking it can happen, right? That really isn't there. Let's see. Let's go to some of these other top 5 picks. Kay Cunningham could be on the table there. James Wiseman, as you just mentioned. Patrick Williams, golly, man, it is a bloodbath. I ain't know. Isaac Okoro was the number 5 pick in the draft. I always forget that.
Yeah.
It gets crazy out the top 3.
Yeah, that draft was wild.
Ooh, this might be a decent comp. RJ Barrett.
For who?
Baker.
That's disrespectful to RJ.
Now, come on. Now, Baker's like a decent NFL player. Like a decent one.
I think RJ is better than decent. I think
RJ is decent on occasion. I think he is decent on occasion.
Hey man,
Same
we watched
as Baker Mayfield.
that Cavs series. We watched that Cavs series. He was cooking.
The second I saw RJ Barrett cooked is when I knew it was done. I was like, dog, even if he's cooking, now we truly screwed. Marvin Bagley. I would say he's closer to like an RJ because like RJ's still functional. Marvin Bagley is like, oh yeah, he come in like the 3rd quarter of a Pistons game. You like, they got him? Like, that ain't how we feeling about Baker Mayfield at the moment. Like,
I don't even think, bro, Baker lost to Desmond Ridder, who had 3 red zone turnovers yesterday, bro. Dog, I like this idea that he's fucking all. Like, I'm not rolling with that at all, dog. Like, he's not good, bro. He's not good.
Was that on the road?
Yes. 3 red zone turnovers from Desmond Ridder, and you know how you feel about Desmond Ridder.
Yeah, that man not good, dog. I didn't think he was good in college. I used to watch all them Cincinnati games because I am a Group of 5 fan. I'm like, oh yeah, Cincinnati. I'm like, man, they quarterback kind of suck, and everybody was hyping them up.
Listen, man, listen. No, I hope James Wiseman proves this comp wrong, but until then, Baker Mayfield and James Wiseman.
All right. You hope James Wiseman proves it wrong. It's crazy.
I hope James Wiseman proves it wrong.
Kirk Cousins. Ooh. We all know. It's not even, come on, man. Give me that Carl Towns. Okay. Give me that Carl Towns. And we going to plop that on the homie. Like, come on.
Yeah.
14 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 1,500 yards. Me and you both know they ain't got a shot versus the 49ers. And PJ Walker just beat them. Okay? Now, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But that's what I'm saying. PJ Walker, we have more belief that PJ Walker's going to step into the game at that moment and win it than Kirk Cousins showing up in prime time versus the 49ers. We know what time it is.
Since we're playing a game, I'm going to offer an alternative.
All right, let me hear your alternative.
Kirk Cousins is James Harden.
No. No.
Kirk Cousins and James Harden.
No. James Harden was an MVP. James Harden was a legit scoring champion.
Hey, tell me something right now. If you looked at Kirk Cousins' stats, since he's been a starter in the NFL, just look at the stats.
You would think Kirk Cousins is very good. You wouldn't think Kirk Cousins is a star. No, we're not doing this, Cole.
You would think Kirk is great.
Okay, first of all, Cole, James Harden wins a playoff series before he chokes. Okay, like that's just disrespectful to James.
Like
James good for 2 playoff series. He just ain't gonna get you all the way. You know what I mean? Like game 7, he got nothing for you. But game 3 and 4, James gonna show up, dog. Like, nah. This Carl Towns, you can't rely on him on anything but the don't get swept game. Like that's all you can rely on Kirk Cousins for. Okay, this is Carl Towns.
I had to try to get somebody else in there, man.
You got a better chance of me trying to say that. You got a better chance of me agreeing with you that Lamar Jackson is James Harden. Okay, like.
See, I want to do that to Lamar.
Even though he about to get his second MVP.
I told you.
I don't think he's getting out the AFC, dog. Like,
I told you, Mark. We gonna get there.
Yeah, he cold. All right, last comp on the list. Definitely the most interesting one.
Oh, it's gonna be funny.
Deshaun Watson. Nah, I got a couple. I was gonna put Zion. But
don't put that on Zion. Zion.
I was gonna put Zion for the inconsistency of staying on the field, but it's a different nature.
I was about to say because there's
if we consider the whole career, I can make an argument for Kawhi Leonard.
No.
Let me make my argument. So right now in Deshaun Watson's career, it is, can he play? Will he be back to 2019? We be having the same exact conversations about Deshaun Watson that we be having about Kawhi. And you know who be left out there footing the bill? Paul George. And I'm sorry, Miles, but you Paul George right now in this scenario because Paul George be trying his damnedest to get the Clippers to the playoffs. Kawhi, what he be doing? Might be here next week. Might not. I don't know. It's day to day. Injuries be mysterious as hell. He'll be looking injured on the sidelines.
This is why I'm pushing back on that. This is why I don't think it's a good comp. I understand where you're going with the injury stuff, but we know Kawhi is good. Like we know Kawhi is still good. We know for a fact.
We know that Kawhi was good in 2019.
He's still a good basketball player now. You just don't know when he's going to actually get on the court.
Yeah, you don't know when he's going to actually get on court, and you don't know what level of play. Kawhi, when he be out there, he been cold. Deshaun ain't been to that level yet.
That's what I'm saying.
But
that's why I don't think
there's an argument to make that by the end of the season, we can still feel that way. Man's really only played 3 games. It don't look good right now, but you still got a lot of football left to play, hypothetically, thought-wise. There's still a lot of football to play. Whether he plays or not, that's a big question. It's kind of the question we got about Kawhi. Okay, like, I'm not saying they the exact same player right now, but I'm saying if you're looking for situations that are similar, we feel a lot like how every team that's had Kawhi after the Toronto Raptors feel about having Kawhi. Okay, which is complicated. Tell me the frustration ain't the same.
Listen, you know what? I think I got one. And it's gonna piss Browns fans off, but I think I got one.
Please let me hear this.
It's gonna piss Browns fans off, but right now he is Chris Middleton. He's Chris Middleton.
I can see it.
Chris, hey, listen, when the Bucks won the title, and even like some years before that, you know what I'm saying?
Chris Middleton.
Chris was
they was
cold.
calling Chris. They was trying to remember when they was trying to make the argument that Chris was really the best player on that team because he took the last shot. Cause now he is in the Kevin Love seat. Okay,
you know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, Chris, like when they needed somebody to go get a bucket at the end of the game, Chris would go get the bucket. Like he would go get the bucket. He's had a bunch of injuries. had a bunch of injuries recently. You don't really know if it's gonna be the same Chris Middleton you used to seeing. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, that's fair. That's a fair comp. Chris Middleton. I don't think. Why would anybody be mad at that? Nobody.
You know how Browns fans get. You know how
I
some
think they're
Browns
gonna be more mad at me calling him Kawhi. Okay, but I think the frustration around the situation, you got his uncle in there, we got his people in here, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's the set. Like, if you could combine how you feel about Chris Middleton, how you feel about Zion, and how you feel about Miles Bridges together, that's Deshaun Watson. Like,
Miles Bridges.
Like, that's how you feel about Deshaun.
Oh man, God, I feel you. But if I gotta just do one guy,
he's Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton, I think, is a fair one to go to there. Now, look, no matter what we say, there's gonna be some child in the comment section that's gonna cook up something filthy for one of these people, and I feel like Deshaun about to be the recipient of the nastiest one. It's going that way.
100%. I'm 100% looking at the comments for this. 100%.
The comments are gonna be crazy for this one. But speaking of Deshaun, let's segue into this. All right, man, we back here again. Now, it's Monday when we recording this, so we don't know what the situation is, if the MRI is going to come back negative or not. Let's live in two assumed worlds, Cole. First world is they get the MRI back, and it turns out that they were just being overly cautious. Nothing happened to that shoulder. He's good to go. He going to play against the Seahawks. There's another world we live in that we have to talk about as well, where you get the MRI and there's been a setback. Don't know how long the setback is going to be, but there's been a setback. What should the Browns do in each of those universes?
To be completely honest with you, at this point, no matter what the situation is, they need to handle it the same. He shouldn't play against the Seahawks. He shouldn't play. And I'm just gonna say this. I know it's gonna make some people angry because there's some people who genuinely want him to play well, and there's some people who are 100% behind him. He's our quarterback, all that good stuff. I'm only giving him the benefit of the doubt so far because we know he has a rotator cuff injury. And from everything that we've been told, basically, the only way it's going to get better, he has to rest it. And he may not be 100% the rest of the year. But if they rest him enough, he can get to a functional level where he can do most of the things he needs to do and try to help them win football games. They're in a very favorable stretch of their schedule right now. I'm not saying that the Seahawks or the Cardinals is an easy win. There's no easy wins in the NFL.
But you can also lose those two games and be relatively fine going forward because they're NFC losses. Yeah.
Exactly. And honestly, as long as they split these next two, they're in a pretty good spot.
4-2 gives you room. I feel you.
Know, if they're 5-3, or they're 5-3 after the stretch, you're in a good spot. Obviously, if they're 6-2, they're in a really good spot. You know what I'm saying? But I want to be clear about this when I say this. Whenever he comes back, he got to get his shit together, dog. Because he has looked so bad outside of that Tennessee game. Outside of that Tennessee game, I give him credit for that. He played great in that
I would
game.
say outside of Tennessee, outside of Cincinnati. Because I thought he was fine in that Cincinnati game.
He was fine. He was fine in that Cincinnati.
I think he was a net neutral. I think you could say, like, he even had to rush a touchdown. Like, he was kind of a benefit. Like, you won that game partly because of him.
Yeah.
But the Pittsburgh game, I mean, like, it's been like we got one game of pretty damn good, but we've gotten, like, elite level terrible games from him.
Yes.
Like, more than a few times in Cleveland, right? And we haven't gotten elite level awesome from him yet. We've gotten, like, a couple good plays, but like we ain't gotten elite level awesome from him yet. Look, here's the question that I think the Browns have to ask themselves. Is this an injury that he could take a hit with? If it's not, he can't play. Like, if every time he takes a big hit, no matter how much he rests this injury for the rest of the season, if he takes a big hit and you got to worry about it and you got to check the MRI and see if it tore anymore. If you're at that point, he shouldn't play. Right? And if you're never going to not be at that point with the rest period that you have for the rest of this season, then he just don't need to play no more. You know, you need to shut it down, because I understand you don't want him to have a throwing shoulder surgery at 28 or 29 years old. Like that's pretty much a death sentence, right? Then we're talking about basically having old Cam Newton, right? That's basically what we would have signed up for if he got to have a shoulder surgery, because that's what took Cam out, was that shoulder surgery on his throwing shoulder. So if it's something to where like, hey, if he takes a hit, it goes the wrong way, you're constantly worried about that outcome, then you just can't have him out there. He's out for the season. If this is a situation where he could take a hit, you know, like, I don't know how much of those bad 5 throws were him not playing football for a month or his arm not being up to snuff. Be honest with you, it looked more like the previous than the latter. I don't think it was the injury that made him throw those interceptions. I think he was just doing classic, like, Deshaun dumb shit that we've seen, like, since he's been here, right? Forcing stuff deep, not getting rid of the ball, not getting rid of the play. Like, I think that was more on play. And it gets crazy, Cole, because people swear that I give him excuses that I didn't give Baker Mayfield. I said the same shit about Bake, dog. I'll be consistent. I don't know what people be mad at me about.
I don't get it. Okay.
But here's what I'm saying with that. If he can play and if he can take a hit and it's not a concern, then you need to just let him take them hits. Right? If you're not worried about it re-aggravating the injury, just let him take them hits. Same way that the Bengals is like, all right, the second we not worried it's going to tear your Achilles, get them hits in, Joe. Like, and Joe got the shit beat out of him. Okay? But now he's straight. Like, so, you know, they went to the bye week, he cool. So if it's a situation where he can't take no hits, why is he out there? He can't be out there. I don't care if he's medically cleared. I don't think he can play. If you think he can play, nah, man, tell him to take care of that. Get surgery, whatever he needs to do, so it's not a big deal next year. And we'll just move on for this year and figure it out with whatever we got at quarterback. Maybe a return to DTR, maybe PJ Walker, maybe Jacoby Brissett. But this team has to know what they're doing at quarterback, right? I think the guessing is killing them every week. Is it PJ? Is it Deshaun? Just make the decision. Can he play with this injury? Can he play football? Not can he play practice football where he's not going to get touched? Can he play football with this injury? If him getting hit is going to be a huge reset and might cause a giant surgery down the line, okay, you don't want to take that risk? I don't have a fucking problem with that. Like, just tell us that's what's up. Take him out for the year. It is what it is. Maybe you make a trade for Jacoby. Maybe you think that, hey, DTR, he got a bad deal when he came in. We'll give him full reps this time, and then y'all gonna see DTR just as good as having Jacoby, right? Like, maybe it might be one of those situations. All right, cool, straight. I'm fine with that, as long as we know what's going on. If he could play, then he's playing, right? Like, if we're not worried about that thing getting re-aggravated because of an injury, he's playing. Like, and at some point, like, you just got to make that decision, because the guessing is what's driving us crazy. And it's this question of, when do the needs for reps also overtake the need for full health? Because on another layer of this whole Deshaun Watson conversation is this. This brother ain't played that much football, man. Like, how much football can he not play within the last, like, since 2020? He ain't played that much football. So we still trying to knock some rust off. Then we keep adding some rust on. It's like, at what point is it just worthwhile to let him play? They gotta ask themselves that question. I mean, like, look, if I'm the front office, if I'm Kevin Stefanski, and this is a cold way to think about it, and it's not with Deshaun Watson's best interest in mind, if them MRIs come back clean, the brother's got to play through this shit. Like,
I mean, to be fair, Kevin already named him the starter. Named him the starter at Seattle.
Well, he's just basically clarifying, I didn't bench him, because the optics was Deshaun Watson was on the sideline with his helmet on. That looked like somebody who got benched, right? If you want to be disingenuous about it, I think they were.
Do people really actually think that, though? I
saw a thumbnail of a video from a homeboy of mine that said Deshaun Watson benched. So yes, Cole. Yes. Okay. Yes.
That's not what I don't think Kevin was lying about the decision.
No, I think Cole. I think he was just. We also have to remember he's not in this space a lot. So he's just like, it looks like a benching. Let me clarify that he's not benching. I think that's why he came out real strong, called him the franchise quarterback. He wanted to make it clear he wasn't benching him, and that if he's healthy, he's going to start against Seattle. I think that's the point he was making. And you could tell when you listen to the whole thing, that's kind of the point he was going for. But yeah, I think they just got to figure it out. Like, okay, is this something he could play through or not? They got to huddle together. If those MRIs come back clean, that hit didn't do nothing to re-aggravate it, and it just was like, okay, he got hit. All right, then. We just going to roll with it, dog. You straight. You could play. Like, you got to make the determination. Is this an injury he could play with or not? Because if we're constantly worried about it re-aggravating itself or something like that, then he's never going to be able to play. So you just got to make that decision. Can he play or not? You could only play it safe to a point, right? And I think if he's not re-injured and we're just holding him out because we're scared to death and we wanted to get to 100%, it's not going to get to 100%. There's no getting to 100%. There's only getting to a point to where it can't become a major surgery, right? Because of incidental contact. So they got to figure that out, right? If it can stay stable, if it's good to go, it's good to go. If it's not and it can't take hits, then he don't need to play for the rest of the year. I understand not wanting him to have that shoulder surgery. I understand not wanting to do that when he's his age. Okay, cool. Then he don't need to play if he can't take the hits without that becoming a serious possibility. But if that's not, he need to play. Like, we need to figure out what we got in this dude, because the Browns' plan is like, hey, man, we can start to move off of Deshaun Watson next year if we really wanted to. Like, real talk. Like, you could play DTR in 24, see where that takes you, but you get your draft pick back. So if DTR stinks, you got a replacement. If DTR is cold, all right, we rolling with that. Like, but the Browns organizationally, they're in a position to move on if they need to. Not saying that they want to move on, but they're in a position where they can move on if they need to. The losing the first round picks because you traded for them didn't really hurt you because you got first round talent out of Martin Emerson and DeJuan Jones. So you didn't even really lose any first round picks because you got the talent already. So that's what they need to decide, man, because honestly, like, at the end of the year, it will feel like a failure no matter what this team does if we don't have a resolution on Deshaun Watson one way or the other.
Can't disagree with anything you said, man. But I will say this: we know how the fan base is. We know how people are. You know what I'm saying about Deshaun, and I don't think people should feel as bad and as worried about the team as they do. I think it's a little much considering they're 4-2, and considering how the other two phases of the game have looked at this point. I know the defense had a rough go of it yesterday for the most part, but
hey, man, what I tell you,
you said the turnover thing was going to end up flipping at some point. You do.
Well, it's like last week. I was like, okay, yeah, Miles only had to get 15 and 20. This week, Miles had to go get 70. Okay, like, all right, Kyrie not making shots. Kevin's 0 for 6. Give me that ball. Like, give me that ball. I'm going here and I'm putting on a class. That's what it was. Like, that's what it was. That's the beauty of this defense. Like, okay, everything else goes wrong. We still got Denzel Ward and Myles Garrett who are capable of incredible shit. Okay, so it don't matter if the team's playing bad. We could put up the amount of points that we need to because we got all-stars and like some great players there in Myles and Denzel. And look, Denzel put up his 20 points on bad efficiency. I saw that, Denzel. It was a great efficiency.
Wow, bad efficiency?
It was subpar efficiency. It was subpar efficiency. I'm not going to lie.
He shot like 42. He shot like 42 from the field.
He wasn't negative efficiency, but it was like,
42.
It wasn't a good shooting night for Denzel Ward. Let's just put it like that.
He got 20, but he took 20 shots?
Yeah. It was one of those like
okay.
Yeah, everybody else stopped taking shots after a while. Okay. And he was at least making them. Miles, on the other hand, Got 70 on 5 shots. It was incredible to watch. It was incredible.
Hey, 70 on 5 shots is great.
I was like, how did he do that? Like, it was, I ain't never seen nothing like that. But yeah, that's the benefit of the Browns defense, is that things could go wrong and they still gonna be all right. It was like an offense that, it was like, you know how the Bengals offense be like iffy sometimes. They be going like 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and then they'll just throw something to Chase, and Chase just makes something happen. They score, and the next thing you know, they got like 45 points. You're like, how did they do that? They weren't playing well. It's like, oh, because they got dudes, and that's what happens on the defensive side when you got dudes. It's like, yeah, they not playing well. Gardner Minshew looked far too good, but hey, man.
Hey, they had Gardner Minshew looking like Drew Brees out there.
Nah, they had Gardner Minshew looking like Anthony Richardson. Like, it was like, wait, we can't stop him running? He was shimmying on us.
He shook Grant Delpit on that one run, and I was like, Grant, come on, man. I see you make that tackle like 25 times already.
He got shook by Mike Vick and RV. That's crazy.
Crazy.
That's crazy, dog.
Hey, don't even get me started on that.
Motorhome Mike got him, dog.
Motorhome Mike is nuts.
Yeah. Motorhome Mike got him, dog. That's crazy.
Hey, did we talk about that? We talk about that Michael Pittman touchdown with Newsome and Emerson. The worst tackling I've ever seen. Worst tackling of the year. Worst tackling of the year. That was bad. I know Jim Shorts was just ripping him a new one after that.
Look, I don't even play the film. Y'all know what happened. Y'all know what happened. Speaking of knowing what happened, let's move over to the AFC North. How does Pittsburgh continue this bullshit?
Man, listen.
These dudes are 4-2.
Most fortunate franchise
Kenny Pickett
in football
is terrible, right? And I bet they looking at us the same way. But at least we can explain it. Our defense is going crazy. Okay? We can explain it. They ain't even doing nothing that crazy. It's just like, yeah, this shit just be happening. You saw that? By the way, the Rams, man, y'all got to get some fans in that stadium. This shit is embarrassing every week. Both LA teams, you guys are embarrassing. It is, just move the team again. Like, straight up.
Real quick, shout out Raiders fans, man. At least y'all loyal. At least y'all show up.
Hey, look, Raider fans don't leave. Okay. Raider fans never left. Raider fans were excited when the team moved from Oakland to Las Vegas because the team just got closer. Okay. Like, there are more people in LA, and I swear to you, anybody who's lived in LA will tell you this truth. I lived in LA before. There are more people in LA driving the 4 hours to Vegas every weekend to watch the Raiders play than there are people in LA that root for the Rams. They got a situation where it's like, you know how don't nobody really fuck with the Nets in Brooklyn? Mm-hmm. It's like they got 2 Brooklyn Nets, no Knicks. Like, it's crazy out there. It's like if you just moved the Nets and the Clippers to New York. Like, that's what it's like. It's like, oh yeah, we got 2 teams don't nobody care about. Like, tickets always cheap. You could just go to, if you're just a bored person on a Sunday, hey, let's see what's going on at SoFi. What's playing? Pat Mahomes playing? All right, let's go check it out. Like, that's what it is every week. They got a game there every week, don't they? None of them be home games.
It's ridiculous. Oh, wait, real quick, since we shout out Cali teams, shout out 49ers fans, because when they came to Cleveland, they rolled deep.
Yeah, boy, I was like, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
They came across the country to watch an L, dog. The PJ Walker.
Hey, you was about to say an ass whooping. You was about to say an ass.
It wasn't that. Came all the way just to watch Brock Purdy lose. That's nuts. In his worst game, I know they was furious on that 5.5-hour flight back. Like, could you imagine the flight back after an L like that? You just sitting there in your Niners gear, like, because you didn't pack nothing but Niners gear. So, like, you get harassed at the airport. You know, the person pushing the drink cart, like, oh, I know you gonna want a couple. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just talking shit to you. And you get multiple meal services. It's gotta be hell.
You know, the person who was pushing the cart was just like, just looked at him and was like, so PJ Walker, huh?
PJ? Nuts. PJ? Man, it was the flags, but PJ, man. That's the thing. People want to complain about these flags in these games. I'm just like, yo, dog, PJ Walker. Okay. Like, I don't care.
If you can't beat PJ Walker, it don't matter, dog. I ain't trying to say that.
Yeah. PJ Walker. The fact that PJ Walker was able to get a pass interference in the red zone because he drove that far down the field to begin with, shame on you. PJ Walker.
PJ Walker. Hey,
we ain't even getting prime PJ Walker.
Right. Yeah. We not getting last year PJ Walker.
We not even getting XFL PJ. Like that PJ could make something shake. This PJ, this is low key starting to be washed. PJ Walker. That's crazy. That's crazy. But the Steelers are 4-2. Let's play the schedule game with Pittsburgh to see if is Cinderella going to turn into a pumpkin on them. All right, they 4-2. Now we know they getting to 9, right? Like Mike Tomlin,
they get
to 9. This don't feel like a season where they don't get to 9. But their schedule ahead: Jacksonville, in Pittsburgh.
Oh, they're gonna win that.
You think they're gonna beat Jacksonville? They're going to lose that one. I think they're going to lose that one.
Listen, man, it's something weird about them playing at home. I don't know what it is, but they just come out on. They shouldn't win these games, but they find ways to win it. It's weird. It's weird.
They're losing that Jacksonville game. They won like 3 in a row or so, 2 in a row. Nah, they're losing that Jacksonville game. The Titans, they winning that one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So where are they at now? For me, I got them at 5-3. And you got them at 6-2.
I am at 6-2.
They play the Packers. They winning that. So I got them at 6-3. You got them at 7-2.
7-2.
Browns at home. The Browns are winning that one at home.
Yeah. They'll win the one. We've been splitting.
We usually win the home one.
Yeah.
So what do you have them at?
So that would be 7-3.
And that'd be
6-4.
Okay. Because I'm having a hard time tracking it. So I'm gonna have you track yours. They play the Bengals in Cincinnati. They'll probably lose that too.
Yeah, they're gonna lose that.
So 6-5.
7-4.
Cardinals at home. They winning that. Even though Kyler might be back. You know what I mean? Revenge game. You know, half them dudes on the Cardinals play for the Steelers. So
I got 8-4.
I got 7-5. Patriots in Pittsburgh.
Oh
hey. Bill, though, versus Pittsburgh. It's been a thing.
He makes it happen. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get this a dub, bro. I'm gonna get this a dub for the Patriots. You know what I mean? They gotta get the 8-2. All right. Like they not about to sit here and flounder for the whole season, dog. Like they about to get the 8-2. Like where I got them at? I got them at what, 7-5?
Yeah, you got them at 7-5. I got them at 8-4.
Colts in Indy.
Woo!
That secondary too young, man. They're going to do some dumb shit. Like that, people were complaining about the flags that the Colts got, but those are all valid flags, and all flags you get when your corners are young and dumb.
It's later in the season, though, so maybe they get it together, but maybe they have it together by then.
Nah. You know what? Yeah. Let's see. I got them at 7-5. They'll get to 7-6 here. Well, no, 7. They'll get to 8-5. 8-5.
You got them at 8-5?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I got 9-4.
And then they're not beating the Bengals in Pittsburgh. No. I think the Bengals late in the season they'll be good. So was that 8-6?
Yeah, I got 9-5.
And then I have them beating the Seahawks to get the 9 wins, and then losing to Baltimore. Okay, yeah, they're getting a 9. They are so getting a 9.
They're getting a 9.
They're getting a 9.
They're getting a 9.
Yeah, I hate them. I can't stand them. But hey, you gotta give credit where credit is due. They just keep finding ways to win. I wish we could give other teams credit when they find ways to win. But I guess Pittsburgh got a monopoly on finding ways to win. Yeah,
you know how it go, man. You know how it go.
You know how shit go, man. They found a way to win against us. Ain't that crazy? The Browns could be 5-1 right now. We would be definitely like not a real 5-1, but we would be 5-1 with some pretty impressive hits on that list. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. But we traded that one for these two, to be honest. I don't think there's a world where we just about to be 5-1 with everything else we got going on. Like, maybe if Deshaun came out playing well, but dog, it ain't been that. All right. So the AFC North, also insane. No teams under 500, and the one team at 500, we know for a fact. They're not about to stay there the whole year. And that's Cincinnati, who's just been to 2 back-to-back AFC Conference Championship games, and they only have Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and so on and so forth. But my question about the Cincinnati Bengals is, did they flounder too much early? Because if you look at their losses, they lost to the Baltimore Ravens, the Cleveland Browns, and the Tennessee Titans.
That was an ugly loss to the Titans. Loss.
Man, the Titans put the ass whooping we put on them, on the Bengals. They got some of that residual. Look, we beat the Titans so bad that we still had that Cleveland on us, and Cincinnati smelt it and did what they usually do, which is get their ass whipped. They thought they was playing Cleveland again. That's what happened. Like, shout out to the Bengal fans in chat. But look at this schedule coming up for the Bengals. They get the bye week this week. They play the 49ers, the Buffalo Bills, the Texans. Ain't no slouch.
Hey, no, that's not an easy win. That's not an easy win.
The Ravens, the Steelers, the Jaguars. Then they get the Colts and the Vikings.
Okay.
The Steelers, Kansas City, Cleveland.
Hey, bro, I'm gonna keep it a bean with you. I'm gonna be all the way real with you. They might not make it.
It's tough.
They might not make it.
It's tough. It's tough.
If they lose that 49ers game, it get real dicey from there.
Honestly, the 49ers game is the one they can lose. They cannot lose that Bills game, though. Of those two, they cannot lose that Bills game and like have one bad week in these next 6 between the Texans, the Ravens, the Steelers, the Jaguars, the Colts and Vikings. Like, all those teams are not like teams that you can just have a bad week against. Now, I say that after the Browns and beat them after the bad week of bad weeks. But y'all ain't got Myles Garrett. Like, maybe Joe Burrow can make it happen. I don't know. But that's a tough stretch, man.
That's rough. They could easily, if the Steelers keep winning, if the Steelers keep finding ways to win, honestly, if the Browns keep finding ways to win too, because they have the first place schedule, dog, they really might not make it. Like they might have lost too many games too early, and they might not survive it now.
Because, these next 2 weeks are going to be key for them. Because they come out the bye and lose both those games and drop to 3-5. Then you're talking about, in order to like make the playoffs, you got to go pretty much, you could lose one game for the rest of the season. And you play the Texans, the Ravens, the Steelers, the Jaguars, the Colts, the Vikings, the Bengals. I mean, not the Bengals, the Steelers, the Chiefs, and the Browns. And it's just like, man, that's a tough stretch of games to go through and not lose more than once.
It's like if they get, like, let's say they get to 9-8, right? Let's say they get to 9-8. 9-8 in pretty much any other division. And usually there's a couple teams who are 9-8 who end up making the playoffs at some point.
Well, there's usually one 9-win team that makes.
There was 2 last year, but the Jags won their division at 9-8. So that's
that don't count. But it's like
different. That's a little different. But still, like,
but they're not winning the division at 9-8. It's
like point. You're in a division with 3 other teams that have a decent chance of getting 10 wins. Like a really especially if the Browns win these next 2 games. Like the Browns have a real good shot at getting 10 wins.
Mm-hmm.
And they already beat It's rough.
It's rough, man.
And the Ravens are going to run away with the division.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I want the Browns to be in that conversation, but the Browns feel real wild cardish to me. Feels like a get it together late team and be hot at the end of the season type shit, but it don't feel like we win the division this year. Like, it seems as if Lamar Jackson is not fucking around this year. Okay. There have been multiple games of him being not just good in the pocket, legitimately great. And he's still leading his team in rushing. Dog, like, what, this man is the most... That's Jimmy Butler, is Lamar Jackson. Okay, let's circle back to it. He is football Jimmy Butler. Like, Lamar Jackson's whole career is Jimmy Butler at the finals during the pandemic being like, Lee, whew, what more do you want?
Hey, let me ask everybody. I'm gonna ask you, people in the comments. You can get at me if you want. Is Lamar Jokic?
Nah, he is. It is hilarious to say that because come on, man, Lamar takes more athletic deuces than Jokic. Like,
I'm just saying, if you're talking, like, let me just walk you through it. Let me walk you through it. Who else in the NFL does everything for their offense the way that Jokic does for the Nuggets? Jokic does everything. You need him to get 40, he get 40. You need 20 boards, he get that. And then he go chip in 13 assists just because. And they're running the offense. I feel you.
But the physical dissonance between those two human beings is something I could never be on board with. Okay, like I'm just saying, it's too much, dog. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you're not about to other comparison. This chubby man from Siberia to Lamar Jackson from South Florida. That is not happening, dog. Like,
listen, I'm sorry. There's no other quarterback I can compare. He's Jokic. No, he does everything.
I'm going to stick with Jimmy Butler. I'm going to stick with just as unpredictable as Jimmy Butler, like in a different way, because Jimmy would just show up the media day doing anything. Lamar will show up the media day in a shiesty mask. Like, it's just unpredictable. You know what I mean? Does not conform to what the standards are for their position. Like, Jimmy just be doing wild shit. And I think Lamar and Jimmy, they're basically the same style of player. Now, Lamar, I think, more potential than Jimmy Butler, but yeah, you feel the same way about Jimmy Butler. Like, you know what I mean? It is all Jimmy. Every time the Heat go anywhere, look, you could tell me about, they got Tyler Hero and Spam and all this shit, but when it mattered, who would be Jimmy? When Jimmy get hurt in one of those stretches, what happened to the team? Ass. Okay, like, it just be Jimmy. Okay, in the playoffs, Lamar Jackson is like, what would Jimmy Butler be if he played like he played in the playoffs in the regular season? He's playoff Jimmy in the regular season. Now in the playoffs, we'll find out about that. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be back. Like, I would not sleep on this version of Lamar Jackson if I were anybody. There were questions about if his game would age well. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be having those conversations very long. Them of 26 and this game aged better than Deshaun Watson, who's 28. Like, it's nuts. It is nuts.
God, oh Lord.
Now we talked about quarterbacks who are actually good.
You waiting for this, huh? You waiting for this?
Yeah, see, man, people get mad at me. They call me a hater because I can't help but see what's real. You know, it's a burden of mine to be able to see what's real. And y'all was going nuts, man. Yeah, he wasn't the only one, Cole. My other podcast homies from AFC North talk were in my ear. You know, Jared Goff is leading the league in this. And he's Pro Football Focus's number 2 rated quarterback, and he's really good. And
I never said that.
You are sleeping on it.
Never said that.
I'm not saying you just said this. I'm saying this is what I've been getting. This is what I've been getting from the Jared Goff world, from the Lions land. All right, this is what I've been getting from y'all. Getting all this noise. And I said, why we acting like we don't know his name, Jared Goff? All right. All this noise. Jared Goff, man, he really he is 29 years old. He is Jared Goff. That name that he put on that paper is the same name he been putting on them papers for years. And you think shit changed just because he had a couple good games in a row? That man's still Jared Goff. And what he do lets you know I'm still Jared Goff. Don't get it twisted. You know, I'm not a new person. This is what it was. And I told y'all it wasn't going to matter when he going up against Baker Mayfield if Jared Goff not good or not, because Jared Goff good enough to be better than them. You know it's going to matter when he going up against the Ravens. Okay, that's when it's going to matter. When another real dude is actually there, that's when it's going to matter. Jared Goff also had the same take about Jared Goff's, look, if Jared Goff is Hulu with ads, Hulu Premium is Matt Stafford. Okay. And shout out to both of them because they just showed who they were. All right. Both of this week. Lost to Kenny Pickett, Mr. Matt Stafford. And then you have Matt Stafford with ads out here getting completely demolished by the Baltimore Ravens. Can't believe y'all was trying to tell me Jared Goff was there. Not you. I don't think you went that far. You were always on the side of, yeah, he's Jared Goff, but he's been playing well. Can't believe that didn't set off an alarm bell to you, Cole. Look, there are some players that when they play well, it's like, hey, man, how long this going to last? Okay?
Listen.
It's like, remember when y'all had Swaggy P on the Lakers?
Of course.
And Swaggy P would be on the hot shooting streak. Now, was your thought process, Swaggy P done finally got it right? Something to click. Or was your thought process, man, Swaggy P about to have an abysmal November after this October?
Absolutely not. Never thought that. Not one day in my life. Never thought that.
You knew what it was, but everybody forgot what it was with Jared Goff. Everybody was like, oh, look how good Jared Goff is. I'm like, the better he plays, the worse he's going to be in a couple of weeks. Like, you know, it's going to come back to the mean. He's Jared Goff. You know what he's going to have at the end of the year? 23 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Like, it's going to be that. It's going to be what it is. That's not bad. It's just Jared Goff. Now, would you like to defend your king?
Listen, first of all, not my king. All I did was say the man played well because he played well.
Against inferior competition.
Listen, hey, you know, people make that argument for Baker all the time. Don't say nothing. But listen.
I make that argument against Baker all the time. And then he lost to Desmond Ritter. Okay.
All-time low. All-time low.
All right.
But look, you know, we all have a rough.
The Falcons might still trade for Deshaun Watson. That's how bad Desmond Ritter is.
Hey, if y'all want to help us out, you know what I'm saying?
They still on the phone like, hey, man, y'all sure y'all know about Russ?
Like, listen.
Bro, we just want something else. Like, man, B-John here, dog. Like,
please, if you want to help Cleveland out, please help Cleveland out. But yeah, look. Back to reality this week. You know what I'm saying? We was flying real high. We was flying real high these past couple of weeks, you know. Needed a good humbling this week. We got it. But we gonna get right back on track and we gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right.
Y'all gotta listen to me more, man. Y'all gotta
still winning the division.
Q ain't just be Q don't be hating for no reason, dog. I just be seeing stuff. I just be seeing shit.
You be hating. You been hating on the Lions. Be real. You been hating on the Lions.
Have I been hating or am I right?
You been hating. You said they're not gonna win a division. Look who is in their division. You said,
hey man, watch out for the homie from Division 2 or the Bears. I'm sorry, Justin Fields. They look. There's an unspoken rule, and I'm not gonna speak about it too loud. But when I saw who they had backing up Justin Fields, I was like, oh, they not playing with him no more. They are done playing these games with him.
They can send him to Cleveland too.
You know what I mean? Like, it is, okay. They might rock it out with this dude. Like, hey, Justin Fields, I don't think they are in for your excuses anymore. All right, brother. But, yeah, I just, you know, I can't believe the Packers found a way to lose against the damn Broncos. Like,
I didn't even realize they lost. I'm going to be real with you.
Hey, nah, the Vikings ain't going to be good. Like, it's just They
It's
look, the
just
Lions
the
are
Lions.
winning. The Lions are winning the division, but they might win like 9 games, 10 games max. We know what it is with Jared Goff.
Hey, 10 wins in Detroit is a great season. Are you serious?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's a great season.
great season. But you know what's about to happen
Oh yeah, for sure.
in that first playoff game. Unless you play the Cowboys, unless they find a way to, well, they might not win the NFC. Yeah, unless you play the Cowboys. The Lions will lose in the first round to anybody but the Cowboys. They will beat the Cowboys in the first round because they're the only more unserious team. Let's talk about some overrated football teams while we're on the Lions. Colb, are the Dolphins overrated? Yeah, I'm getting all my money back this week.
You trying to fight 2-9 now?
I'm not trying to fight Tua 9. I'm not saying Tua not good, but I am saying the Dolphins have beat up on a lot of bad teams. And then when they play against some good teams, they look a little different. All of a sudden, Tyreek Hill ain't in the crowd cheering. You know what I mean? Like
No backflips.
Yeah, no backflips. Now, somebody brought up the point that it might be more about physicality. You know, when they play physical teams. Either way, that's a problem in the AFC.
That's a huge problem in the AFC.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you start talking about like who they may have to play in the playoffs. That's a giant. If you can't handle physical teams, they play anybody from the AFC North. That's gonna get ugly.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna get ugly. They might be a little bit overrated, but not like super overrated, not like enormously overrated, but a little.
Yeah,
overrated.
they're slightly overrated.
They're slightly overrated.
Now we're gonna play a game called "What NFL Teams Are Fake Good." Got a list of teams here, Cole. You're gonna tell me if they fake good. The Falcons are in first place right now. I think they're 4-2 or 4-3. Are they fake good?
It's difficult for me.
This ain't difficult to me. I got 2 words: Desmond Ritter. They not good.
That's it. That's it. It's just I feel like that team. I feel like the team around. I feel like this is him in Cincinnati again. I feel like the team around him is actually pretty talented, but if he's
That's
running
the worst
show,
part.
if he's running the show, you can't do nothing with it.
Mm-hmm. Fake good. Fake good. Easy fake good. This is a little bit more difficult. The Buffalo Bills.
Ooh, I think their offense is good.
I think they fake good.
That defense is not good, man.
That defense is fake good. And that offense is fake good.
You're not even buying them on offense?
Mm-mm. I think they're one of them offenses that, like, if you don't have the solutions that you need for Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, yeah, you're gonna look pretty bad against them. But like any team with those solutions, they're gonna make them look like what the New England Patriots made them look like. All they had was the solutions. Like, if you ain't got the solutions, then yeah, Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs gonna do whatever they want to you. And if you ain't got enough going on offense, which it was shocking to see that the Patriots did against them. So I mean, that's not good either for the other side of the ball. But they can't run the ball. They're one dimensional, and if you could pressure them, which is pretty easy to do, and you can get to them, and if you could cover Stephon Diggs, you straight. They don't really give you a headache on that side of the ball. They fake good. They're going to lose in a second. Clippers. Bam.
Oh, Lord. Who's
the
next?
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, yeah. Fake good. For sure. Literally same thing as the Falcons. Who's the quarterback? There you go.
You don't believe in Kyle Trask?
Florida got him ready. Florida got him ready for what he about to see.
The Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, they're not good.
They not good, but they okay.
Yeah, they are.
They going to be a strong around 500 team. They can lose to anybody. They can beat anybody. But they not good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I can see them you could see them being somewhere. They're going to be somewhere between 8-9 and maybe 10-7, somewhere in there.
Lions.
I'm not rolling with the fake good. I think they're pretty good. But pretty
Okay,
good
we'll put it like this.
so far. Only pretty good. Only
Let's say you feel pretty good about the Browns, and the Browns somehow can choose their first round opponent, and the Lions are on that list.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You trying to play them, right?
100%.
So you know what it is. They fake good. Okay. You can't lie about this no more. You know what it is. If you try to play them in the playoffs, they fake good. Okay. Like, if you try to get matched up on them, they not good. Like, you know 100%. What it is. You just think the record good.
Jared Goff for the playoffs? Yeah, need that.
Yeah, you know what it is. You know what it is. Okay. Now I'm glad we finally came to an agreement. Okay. The Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm gonna just say that they good because I know they ain't going under 500. They good.
Yeah, they're good.
They're annoying. They're cockroaches. They don't die, but they're good. The Houston Texans.
Ooh, CJ's really good, dog. CJ's really good.
Yeah, man. I watch CJ Stroud and Jalen Hurts play football, and I get sad. I get sad watching CJ Stroud because I'm like, damn.
Yeah, CJ's good, dog. CJ's
Ooh, damn.
good. He's good. He's good. Man, fuck it. I'm gonna say they're good.
I think they are actually decent.
I'm gonna say they're good.
The Jaguars. I lean towards decent.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I lean towards decent. Even though that defense kind of that offense defense sometimes can be. But you catch them on a good day, they could whip your ass. You know. The Cleveland Browns. Are the Cleveland Browns fake good? There is an argument here to be had.
There's a strong
argument. But that same argument can be used to say that they're really good. Because you can say, look at how things have fell their way and all this, but also PJ Walker. And they still winning games against good teams.
I'm about to say, if the Browns are fake good, I feel like the Steelers have to be fake good. It's really not that. They're really not, honestly, not that different.
I don't think the Browns and the things that have kept the Browns in the games are going away anytime soon.
That defense is legit.
I also don't think that their problems are going away anytime soon. So it's a difficult place to be in, but I think the Browns are actually good.
They're good.
Fake good. Bad teams.
What does that mean?
Are these are teams with bad records that you might or might not feel like their record reflects them. We're going to start with the Los Angeles Clippers.
Nah, they're bad.
You think they're bad?
They're actually bad. Justin Herbert's nice. Like Justin Herbert's a good quarterback, but that team is bad. Team's bad.
I just can't get a handle on them, dog. They're the most unserious, serious team. Like they do stuff every week that makes it hard to ever take them serious. Like 2 weeks in a row, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, this is why you don't take the Chargers serious. This is why we make Clipper jokes about them.
I can't take a team seriously with Brandon Staley as their head coach. I can't do it.
You know what's funny? They didn't score any points in the second half of that game. They blew to the Jaguars, and then they've done that 2 times this year. Like, God is trying to tell them, dog, like, fire this man. He has a different calling. It's crazy.
I do not understand it. I for the life of me, I don't.
All right, the Bengals.
Oh, they're not bad.
Yeah, they're fake bad.
They're fake bad. They're fake
the
bad.
Jets.
Ooh.
That defense is so good. But it's not good enough to carry Zach Wilson. But I'll say this. They're going to be 500.
They're going to be around there. They're going to be around there for sure. They're going to be around there.
They're going to be around there.
To be real with you, A lot of parallels with the New York Jets and the Cleveland Browns.
Except for one thing. They ain't got Miles.
They ain't got Miles, but outside of that, it's a lot of parallels.
And Miles is the difference. Like, we just saw it. They be 4-2 with Miles. They might be 5-1 with Miles. You know what I mean? But hey, it's rough. They ain't got Miles. Thank God we got Miles.
Shout out Quentin Williams though, because he's really good.
Yeah, he's pretty good, like for a regular NFL player. But Miles is a Space Jam creation. Like that man just not regular. This ain't no regular shit, man. Like,
no, it's not. It's really not. It's really not, bro.
The Rams. I think they're fake bad.
You think they're fake bad?
Yeah, I think they're fake bad. I think they'll finish in second place in the AFC West, in the NFC West.
I could see it. Do we feel like the Rams are a team who like sneakily could really use a really bad season?
They already had that
for the long, but they didn't have a first round pick though. You know what I'm saying? But for like the long term health of the franchise, they feel like a team that could really, really use a bad season.
Well, you know why they gave away all their first round picks, because they was terrible at drafting them. Like, their best first round pick in recent memory is Aaron Donald, dog. That was when they was still in St. Louis. Like it. Man, they gave up on that. Maybe you can make the argument it was Jared Goff for 4 this week, but hey, we know how that went. Well, those are the fake good teams. Let's talk about Kevin Stefanski and wrap this up, Cole. A lot of controversy in Browns Nation about Kevin Stefanski. Is he a good coach? Is he not? The records say he's a good coach. He's over 500. Well over 500 at this point, close to 550, getting to close to 600 percentage. I don't even have to check to know that that's the best any Browns coach since expansion, since Bill Belichick probably. And I don't even think Bill had an over 500 record in Cleveland. Why do you think so many people want him fired? Do you think this is really just all, I'm mad that you told me that Baker Mayfield not good enough and was spirited charge to get rid of him? Like, is this because that's how it was portrayed, was that Kevin was the one that was like, nah, he cheeks. And is it just people mad that he ripped the Baker Mayfield dream out from under them and then was instrumental in serving them this Deshaun Watson dream that we like, is it just that?
Let's start with the first part. Let's just assume, for the sake of argument, he actively tried to get Baker out of here. Let's just assume that. I think that's kind of ridiculous, but let's just assume, for the sake of argument, that's what Kevin did.
Think he was fighting to keep him there. I don't think he was in those meetings like, hey guys, we don't got to do it. We got Baker Mayfield. To be fair, like
he may not have been. He may not have been.
That was the feeling.
But I think there's a difference between, if we keep him, if we don't, I'm cool, and I'm actively trying to sabotage this man and get him out of here. I think that's I don't think
he was actively he wasn't actively trying to sabotage him. He had seen enough. But I don't think he wanted him back on the team after 2021, because you don't get on the jet and talk to Deshaun Watson about game plan if you think that Baker Mayfield is somebody you want to deal with in 2022.
You know what? For the sake of argument, let's say Kevin sabotaged him and tried to get him out of here. He was right. Let's start there. He was right to try to get Baker out of here. He was right. Like, he was like, if that's what's making people angry, if that's genuinely why people don't like Kevin, he was right. Baker stinks. He just lost to Desmond goddamn Ritter yesterday, who had 3 red zone turnovers. That Desmond Ritter. He lost to that. Yesterday. Hey,
Cole, we've been there before. 3 turnovers, can't win. That's crazy. We've been there before.
So if that's why you're
We'd have been there before. That's crazy, dog.
It's a
If he did that
stupid
again,
Lamar Jackson.
that's when
Lamar
you
Jackson,
gave up
4
on
turnovers.
him. Yeah, that's when that's when Cole quit on,
I was like, oh
Baker.
no, this dude stinks. This dude is terrible.
He started tweeting out for Case Keenum.
I was like, bro, please, anybody. But this is my thing. As far as being instrumental into bringing Deshaun here, if it doesn't end up working out, and there's a chance it may not work out the way that we thought it was going to work out, then him and Andrew Berry have to be accountable for that on some level. 100%. They got to be accountable for that on some level. It hasn't really hurt them, so I don't necessarily believe that they should get fired for it. But they're gonna have to figure out who can be the long-term quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. If Deshaun
you know what it's gonna be, and here's what the consequence is gonna be if you're wrong on Deshaun Watson. Jimmy ain't opening the book like that again, dog. Like he ain't dropping the quarter bill because you say he should drop the quarter bill again, right? You don't get fired for that, but the budget gets small. It's like if you make money technically on a movie, but it don't make that much money. Hey man, that sequel might go direct to DVD. Okay, like you getting a sequel, but the budget is gonna be reduced on the sequel, and that's what the punishment's gonna be for them is, all right, man, you got to figure it out with a dude like DTR, or you got to draft somebody because Jimmy ain't about to drop that bag again. Like it's gonna be a while till Jimmy does that. You're gonna have to be a little bit more economical about this situation. That's the punishment if you're wrong on him. But everything else, like the draft compensation, not a big deal. I mean, especially since you drafted really well the last couple of years, and I would assume, given that they've had a pretty good track record, that they're probably going to draft well again this year. You get your draft picks back, you're pretty much fine there. The money is the most overrated part of this whole conversation with Deshaun, because it's like, you can get off the money in 2026. If it looks like you're not going to want him on the team anymore, you could work out something with him and his agent, get like a buyout and trade him somewhere. You're good. You owe like $20 million over the next 2 years, and then 8 in 2026, and you're fine. Like you'll have a rookie quarterback starting anyway, so you won't be paying that much money. It won't be that big of a deal. So the money stuff not going to set them back. The draft pick stuff not going to set them back. But what will set them back is, hey, Jimmy, so there's this guy we really want. All you got to do is write the check. Jimmy ain't writing that check no more if that don't work out, man. Jimmy's like, I've been scammed one too many times. Like,
hey, you putting the full accent in there. Wow.
I know Jimmy gonna be furious if this don't work out, man. He got out there on that press conference and rolled for the boy too. Like,
hey, how crazy would it be? How crazy would it be if the show wasn't even really that good, but they ended up still winning a bunch of, like, they win like a playoff game or two? How crazy would that be?
Hey man. The crazy thing is it's possible.
It's very possible. And this goes into my next point, though. Like, this goes into my next point. For them to be winning football games the way that they are winning football games, in my mind, to be honest with you, it strengthens the argument to keep Kevin and Andrew Berry here, like, long term.
Now, I will go to this. I do think that there is a growing and more valid argument as each day goes on that Kevin has not done the greatest job keeping up with modern NFL trends on offense. And I think it shows. I thought the approach to this game was stupid. They were in 13 and running the ball out of under center. I thought it was getting a lot of 3rd and 9s, and they were throwing the ball with Deshaun Watson for the first time on 3rd and 9. It's just stupid. I thought it was just a bad approach. Just get out of empty, get used to throwing the ball. I think even if Kevin is successful, I think there's a real conversation that Kevin needs to have with himself, with his offensive staff, about integrating more innovative minds into the process. Not saying he doesn't have to be the offensive coordinator anymore, but somebody in that room has to introduce some new ideas, and they have to be receptive to it, because Shane Steichen was running circles around us when it comes to this offensive stuff, dog. Like, Shane Steichen was out here making us look like we was out here playing Atari while this muff playing Xbox 360 is crazy. Like, we looked primitive. They was doing all this like motion before the play, all this stuff, just getting wide open runs on this defense. We out here trying to scoot the ball left and right with PJ Walker. Like, it was just doing these play action boots, nobody falling for it. Like, there is a level of evolution that needs to be done. I think Kevin Stefanski, the head coach, I believe in him more than I've ever believed in him. Kevin Stefanski, the offensive genius, I think he is not an offensive genius. I'll just put it that way. He is a good offensive mind. He is somebody who is useful to have in that room, but he ain't an offensive genius. And I do think he needs to make sure that he integrates more innovative thinking into that room. And again, this doesn't have to be a new coordinator. I don't think you got to get rid of Alex Van Pelt or something, anything that drastic, but maybe a younger quarterback coach, or let your quarterback coach be more present in that conversation, right? Because we see Drew Paxson, former quarterback coach here, goes to Arizona. He's doing a lot of that stuff that we want to see here. So, you got to let these dudes have more of a say in there. And I understand maybe you do want it to be a coordinator position, something harder to pry away. But that's what Kevin needs to do. I don't think he needs to completely hand over the keys, but he needs to introduce some new thinking into that room and evolve. Because right now, I ain't loving all the evolution, right? Like, hey, the Nick Harris in the backfield, that shit hit. The Nick Harris in shotgun while you run an end around? No.
Hey, yeah.
Throw that out.
I get that.
Throw that out. Throw that one out. Okay. All these double reverse flea flickers we be running, yeah, man, we get rid of them. We out here trying to run a John Gruden trick play bag. Like, it's just we need to evolve. And Kevin, while I think he is a smart person, a very brilliant person, he also needs to be a little bit more open to some of this new stuff that we're seeing in. And I think that that's something that could be a valid criticism of him. But like, I think people are so used to arguing on social media, they don't understand, like, you can be critical of somebody while also thinking that they don't need to be fired or canceled. Right?
Exactly. Like, people are like, why are you making excuses for Kevin? You just want to keep. I'm like, bro, relax. He's not a bad head coach.
I had this happen during the game because I was like, I hated the approach. I'm not somebody who wants Kevin fired, but I was like, I hate this approach. Like, this approach sucks. I don't know what led to it. I think it was a lot of, we don't want Deshaun to get hit. We're going to run 13 and try like hell to have him not get hit. And again, if that was the case, you shouldn't have played him. Like, he got to get out there and empty and play like he plays, but he was out here doing shotgun, all this. I mean, not shotgun, under center for him. It's like he's already hurt. Why have him do stuff he's not natural doing? Like, it didn't make any sense to me, but whatever. I tweeted out, I hate this approach. Too much 13 personnel, all this. Man, some of the people that be agreeing with me was bad. Like, like, well, what would you rather them do? I'm like, dog, I just want them to spread it out and get to 11. Like, I don't want him fired. Like, what are we doing? What? I promise you I'm not that crazy. Like, I'm not going one way or the other. I'm just trying to have a conversation about football. It is insane. But yeah, I think Kevin, good coach. I think where he has shown the most progress is as a manager of the locker room. Like, that shit's been so much better. He has figured that out. And that is important. That is his main job, to be honest with you. The coordinator stuff, hey, man, if you start to get cooked as a coordinator, you can always have some young boys figure it out for you. You know what I mean? Like, look, John Harbaugh wasn't a genius. Is not a genius on any side of the ball, but he gets it done. I'm pretty sure Mike Tomlin figured this out at some point. He's like, oh yeah, the stuff that I used to do at William and Mary, that ain't cooking no more. So like, somebody else going to have to come in there and create the new shit. So that's where Kevin's at. He's just going to have to give his coordinators a little bit more prominent of a role, or give some other coaches more prominent of a say to evolve this thing a little bit better. But I don't think he need to be fired to achieve that. I think Kevin's a good coach.
I want to go off of that really quick because this is what pissed me off yesterday when I was on Twitter. People have dug themselves into one side of the argument or one way or the other But mostly it's basically saying he needs to be fired. And you've dug yourself so deep into this way of thinking, you can't even be objective about what's going on the field anymore. I'll give you a perfect example. That pitch play to Jerome Ford. I know why you started laughing. Jerome Ford doesn't catch the ball. Now, if you want to blame PJ Walker, say the pitch wasn't the best pitch in the world, okay. But either way, it's either PJ's fault or it's Jerome's fault for not catching the ball. Lose a bunch of yards,
you know who fault it wasn't? It wasn't the play caller's fault because if you open,
that shit was wide open. I'm talking if they needed a 4th and 1, Jerome Ford catch the ball, he probably gonna get 20 yards, 20, 25. It was so wide open, and Jerome Ford is so fast. I wouldn't be surprised if he might have scored if he catches the ball. The first thing people did was blame Kevin Stefanski for calling the pitch, despite the fact that it was the perfect play call at the perfect time and would have resulted in a chunk play with a practice squad quarterback and your second string running back. And that's the issue I have with all of the discourse about Kevin. I'm like, bro, even when you blame the man, you were blaming the man for not winning games, like the game against the 49ers. And the game yesterday, you always say, Kevin can't win these kind of games. We always lose these close games to teams. Sometimes, good teams find ways to win games. But all the cliches.
He won 2 of them in a row, and now we don't want to give him credit. It's crazy.
And now he won 2 of them in a row, and now you're mad about how he won the games. It's ridiculous. Yeah. It's ridiculous. It's stupid.
And it's like people get mad at like the most petty shit, and it's like people were mad about how they called those plays at the goal line. Now, me personally, like you go back on my stream when I'm watching the game, and I was like, yeah, well, you can't run the ball. Like, that was my first thing. When they got the ball at the 1 yard line, like, well, you can't run the ball.
You can't run the ball.
You can't run the ball because if you run the ball, and I think people are like, oh, well, things can go wrong if you throw it. Not as much as you think, because you're throwing the ball out of bounds. It's really hard to intercept. And it's really hard to take a sack in that situation unless you're like actively being an idiot, right? But running the ball, let's say you run the ball up the middle and then it gets stuffed. And then you try to hurry up and run a play and then somebody false starts. That's very possible. Like that's a high likelihood of happening. Or you get the play off, somebody's out of position, they hold. It's high likelihood of happening. 10 seconds run off, ball game. You throw an incomplete pass, who gives a fuck in that situation? Ooh, David Njoku doesn't catch it? Cool. And honestly, that was a great play call. Great play by that DB to break it up. But David was there. David was absolutely there. It was happening. Like, it was happening there. I thought that the play calling was fine on that one, but people were like upset and like, you're out of your mind if you thought that they should have ran the ball 4 times straight. They had no timeouts. They could have ran the ball 2 times.
No time to do that. 0
Yeah,
time.
they could have ran the ball maybe 2 times. Maybe 2 times. It takes like 20 seconds to get a play off. Like, if you don't have the clock stop, they could have ran the ball 2 times. So one is like people like choosing to be ignorant because like they would understand it if they weren't rooting against Kevin Stefanski for whatever reason. And it's exhausting. Like, this is the most successful head coach. Like, the same reason people are like so gung-ho about Baker, who, by the way, I pulled up the stats and people lost their minds. I was like, look, man, I'm not trying to argue with nobody, but like, these are the numbers. The Browns are 11-10 without Baker Mayfield since he's left. And Baker Mayfield's 5-11, and he was 29-30 as a Cleveland Brown. They're literally better off without him. Like, from a win-loss perspective, they're literally better off without him. They have won a higher percentage of games without him, throwing in 4 different starting quarterbacks than they have with one Baker Mayfield. Okay? Like, it is what it is. I think people need to understand that. And people want this Baker Mayfield thing to be Bernie Kosar, and it's just not. He's not Bernie. He was a decent quarterback for a couple years. But it's just people are so wrapped up into that they're not seeing the forest for the trees, which is like, okay, if you think that Baker Mayfield should have been kept here because he was more successful than any other quarterback here and he wasn't even 500. why are you trying to run the coach out of town who's well above 500 when you ain't had a coach damn near any close to that? Like if you think running Baker Mayfield out of town was a bad idea, why do you think it's a good idea to do it to Kevin? Like it doesn't make any sense at all. Even using their own logic. And I think Kevin's worth keeping because he's just proven like, hey man, this team has a definitive floor with Kevin. They're not only going to get but so bad with Kevin out there. Now, the ceiling with him, like, I think there's no such thing as a ceiling with coaches. It's only like a floor that really exists. Like, you can only be but so bad. You can only be but so good as a coach and so impactful. Everything else relies on quarterback play, everybody else on the roster, right? Like, hey, man, Jim Schwartz had a bad game. I'm going to be real with you. Jim Schwartz, he had a bad game on Sunday, but it's okay. Myles had him. Myles made him look like a genius, right? I bet Jim Schwartz was like, whoo, man. But Myles had my back because he had a terrible play. He was playing all this zone, just had guys lost, had JOK off the field most of the time. Didn't make no sense what he was trying to do. But Myles was like, it's okay, coach. I got you on this one. It was crazy. But that's it for this first podcast edition of QnCOLB. I hope we got you through the first part or the last part of your shift. If you are the working man out there, you know what I mean? My landscapers, my truck drivers, my earpiece homies. I know you. Okay, I know you out there. I know you got us on the Bluetooth. All right. Mono audio. You know what I mean? Only coming through the left L, one AirPod in. You got to listen for the cops on the other one. I got you. You know what I mean? Shout out to all my independent contractors out there. And all my corporate gangsters as well, sneaking us in on a lunch break on the clips, you know, or if you snuck in the full 2 hours, shout out to you. Way to show the man. You know what I mean? Show the man. That's what we here for. A few hours out of your work week. Cole, you got anything to say to the people before we head out?
Hey man, shout out to all the working homies. Hey, he shout out the truck drivers, everybody who be emptying out them trucks. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking. Everybody who be
my dock guys. Hey,
dock guys.
Shout out to my back brace people. You know what I mean?
You know what's going on. I've been
back
there,
brace.
dog.
Hey. Shout out to all my homies in overalls. Like, you know what I mean? Like, shout out to them. The steel toe squad. Like, shout out to the steel toe squad. You know what I mean?
Shout out to the homies, man.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You forget to put them off and then you walk through the airport. It's a problem. You know what I mean? But hey, bro, like, you know, I'm with you. Okay. I'm with you.
Hey, shout out to everybody who work at the airport too. You know, I used to work at Delta. I know what it was, man. I know what it was. Shout out to y'all.
Shout out to the TSA. Let a brother through. Atlanta TSA. Let a brother through, man. I missed the flight because of y'all. So let a brother through. If you ever recognize me and you work for the TSA, hook me up. You know, I don't like a lot of like special treatment, but I will take it from TSA if it is in the positive direction. Okay. Hook me up. Okay.
Hey, real quick, shout out all the sponsorship people. You know, we need one. We need a couple, you know what I'm saying? We try to make some money out here.
Yeah, you know, shout out to all them. You know, if you know somebody who knows somebody, let them know. Let them know. You know, we looking. You know what I mean? We out here. But yes, that is going to be the end of this episode. Should we leave them with a question like all good podcasts should? Ooh, you know what I want to do? I'm going to steal this from Bomani Jones. I want to do voicemails. I want to do voicemails.
Hey, we got
to set up a voicemail. But right now, I want to know your stories. Let me know your stories of when a Twitter argument got too real. Let me know. When an online argument has gotten too real. Let me know in the comment section. Or when I open up this voice line, we going to have it here. We've all had it, you know. Let me know when an argument that was started online got way too real. Y'all have a great day. Have a better night. This has been QnCOLB. Peace.